asks that the leadership of the House meets him to take a decision going forward. Well, the House has resumed. Let's go to Parliament and find out what this particular decision is and whether or not concluding remarks will be taken on the statement regarding the declaration of the Kpandai seat vacant.
Honorable members, too much of everything is bad. Honorable members, kindly resume your seats.
can see clearly in your shots the minority caucus clad in black attire, wearing nose mask and singing and chanting against an attempt by the Majority Leader Mahama Ayariga to react to their initial call for the withdrawal of the letter signed by the clerk to Parliament, which was referred to the Electoral Commission declaring the Kpandai seat vacant. That was the initial demand by the minority for that letter to be withdrawn before they can partake in any parliamentary business. Now, right after that submission, some hours ago, the chanting also continued from there. And this made the speaker, the first deputy speaker, who was sharing proceedings at the time, vacate the seat or suspend the seat for some 5 minutes. However, it took more than 5 minutes, almost 2-3 hours before he came back to take the seat. And when he took the seat, he gave the minority chief whip, Frank Anadompre, the opportunity to rehash the point that he earlier made. However, the minority caucus said they wouldn't agree to that. The minority caucus said they will not agree to that. Now, what we see now is the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin himself, making an entry into the chamber to take his seat and chair proceedings. We expecting to see that Speaker would be able to stamp his authority to ensure that there is some calm and order in the House. But as it stands now, the minority is opposed to any attempt by the Majority Leader Mahama Ayariga to comment on their request for the withdrawal of the letter that was sent to the Electoral Commission regarding the declaration of the Kpandai seat vacant. We know that the Tamale High Court ordered a rerun of the 2024 parliamentary election in Kpandai after its validity was challenged. Now, we know that Kpandai MP or former Kpandai MP Matthew Ndam has filed a stay of execution against this order. However, the court is yet to pronounce on this particular application. To that end, the House or the Speaker directed the Clerk of Parliament to write to the Electoral Commission declaring the seat vacant after the 7-day window allowed for the file of execution had elapsed. To this end, the minority today has clad itself in black attire with nose mask, chanting and banking tables in opposition to an attempt by the Majority Leader Mahama Ayariga to react or make a comment to their request. We have the Speaker himself, Alban Bagbin, taking over from the first Deputy Speaker, Bernard Ahiafo. And we are hoping that the leadership of the Minority Caucus would be able to calm tempers and restore order in the House. That is exactly what the first Deputy Minority Whip and the Minority Chief Whip, Frank Anadompre, as well as Patricia Piaget, Deputy Minority Leader, are trying to restore order amongst their caucus to ensure the Speaker, Alban Bagbin, makes some pronouncement on this matter. Now, the interesting thing is that while the House was on break, or suspension for that matter, the leadership of the Majority Caucus was also now trying to marshal its numbers into the House because most of them were not in the chamber to form quorum. And the plan by the minority is to ensure that if the majority insists to conduct business, it will raise the issue of quorum. And that delayed the suspension of the House. That is the plan. So the majority leadership had to marshal a few of its numbers in to ensure that they have the required numbers to conduct business. Now, these minority members are holding placards. In addition to their chanting of Mahama no tetem, we no go agree and all that, in opposition to the majority's attempt to react to their request for a withdrawal of the letter to the EC on the Kpandai seat. So despite the presence of Speaker Alban Bagbin, the minority members are still on with their opposition, their protest, chanting phrases, no one-party state, Mahama no third term, amongst others. Some of their placards also have the inscription, "We want peace in Ghana." Others also read, "CSOs, the media are in the pockets of Mahama," amongst others. Well, fortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, the protest has come to some end, and we believe that the Speaker, Alban Bagbin, would speak on this matter to ensure that calm is finally restored to the House.
Yes. Please let there be order. Before I inquire to know the state of affairs, it's important on your behalf acknowledge the presence of some visitors. We have students from the Muzano Senior High School, led by the patron of the school, Mrs. Samuel Kojo Esuman. Muzano Senior High School, led by the patron of the school, Mrs. Samuel Kojo Esuman. They are 65 in number, coming from the Gomwa West constituency. On your behalf, I warmly welcome them to the House of Parliament, which is the House of the people. As at now, we are occupying these seats on their behalf. So please, you are welcome, and don't be surprised. These are your products. It's Ghanaians who vote for us to be here. And therefore, in your seats, we have a few things to do today. And just please keenly watch what is happening. Learn the good ones, not the bad ones. Honorable members, may I listen to the leaders to give me a brief of the current situation in the House before I proceed? Yes, Majority Leader and Leader of the House.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, Majority Leader, Majority Leader. Honorable members, I want to humbly draw your attention to our standing orders. Honorable member, order in the House. Order in the House. Page 73 of the standing orders. Chair to be heard in silence. Order 1261. The Speaker is responsible for the maintenance of order and observance of the rules of debate in the House. 1262. Whenever the Speaker addresses the House, any member standing shall immediately resume the member's seat, and the Speaker shall be heard in silence. 3, whenever the Speaker rises in situations of disorder, any member standing shall immediately resume the member's seat. 4, a member shall not leave the member's seat while the Speaker is addressing the House. Honorable members, this is just to refresh your memory. Just on Sunday, I had the honor of hosting the first-timers at the residence of the Speaker, which I happen to occupy now.